number 2, Nova Rockafeller. Brace yourself. It only gets better, guys.
Nova. I've never heard a Nova song.
There we go. I'm ready. We heard
Nova.
We just heard her man. Now it's time for her.
Wait, hold on. What's this song called?
It's called Did Your Best, right? Nova Rockafeller. Did Your Best. Let me try to find the lyrics for that. Linda, what are they saying here? I'm not a Christian, all right? Liam Shave, I'm not a Christian. But, frankly, I have not yet met a nicer group of people than Christians. Also, some of the best advice I've heard and gotten has come from Christians. Thank you for sharing this. That's really balanced, because I know a lot of time Christians are like looked upon and judged by the tares, the hypocrites among us. But there are some good Christians. There are some really good ones, you know.
There's some good everybody.
In every
right?
Yeah.
You know, there's no genre of people that doesn't have people who really have a heart and love for others. And that's what's important to understand. There are people who have never claimed Christianity, who God will set his crown on, give them a robe, and give them a new name. It's not to say if you don't know better, you shouldn't do better. But there's people who literally will live the life, walk the walk, talk the talk, simply because they may not understand that God has given them this instinctual way and this compassion for others and this love for others, that they just move and they walk in it because they have a high sense of morality and a high sense of compassion and thinking about how their actions affect others. And it's just so important for us to not think that a label or a title is going to get you advanced anywhere. That's
so true.
And not to look at labels and titles and to judge them.
That's right. It goes back to what Martin Luther King said, you know, we got to be judged by the content of our character instead of our skin color.
Exactly.
And that goes the same for everyone, you know. So
I love what James said here. He made it very clear. Where are you at, James?
James
said
James Maxwell.
It's Maxwell. He had a great point. So I do want to say so someone had said that Chicago is so understaffed, and it's sad. It's sad that people are afraid to function in their own profession. Well, as a cop, our peace cannot be disturbed. We can be cussed, yelled at, called pigs, etc., and we can't do anything about it. You know, I watched a video one time and I thought, man, that must be hard. The way they're like, really hard. You have all these voices at you, just like, I know we as humans, we have triggers, right? So you hear someone, you this, you that, da, 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 and you're like, I'm watching some police just being able to maintain their composure. To me, it's powerful.
There's a lot of internal.
It's powerful.
There's a lot of internal struggle during those phases.
Absolutely, that's what I'm saying. You're
like, I'm so misunderstood right now. You know?
Yeah. I'm doing my job. I'm not wrong in what I'm doing, and I'm being called all kinds of names because of your emotional response to what's been done wrong, and because of someone else's actions that I'm not doing in this moment. But you're going to react as if I'm doing that.
I'm guilty.
James said, just to clarify, I do not hate all police. I do not even hate the ones who did that to me. Sure, I did at first, but it came too heavy, and I had to forgive to be myself again. Whew!
That's powerful.
The power of forgiveness. The power of forgiveness is so immense. We don't understand when you forgive even people who don't want to be forgiven. Understanding the beauty of forgiveness and how it affects you, your soul, you personally, how it is a gift. Forgiveness is a gift. It is a gift for you, and it's even a gift for the other person. But ultimately, it really affects your relationship with yourself, with God, and with others. So you have to, and I just commend you for that, because a lot of times people hold on to harbor hatred. I saw someone write a Facebook post, and they said, what did they say? They said, is it wrong for me to make a list of everyone who has wronged me in the past so many years? Is it wrong for me to make a list of everyone who has wronged me in the past so many years? And I'm like, well, if you're making the list so that you can start the process of forgiving them, yes. But if you're making the list
to harbor more
grudges and to make sure you you just make sure you know who you hate.
Yeah.
Have a good list of.
Let me tell you about my haters.
Yeah. Let me like have that list. I said all you're gonna do is just internally kill yourself.
Absolutely.
It's a seed that you
drinking poison, expecting somebody else to die.
Yeah, it's a seed. Yes, drinking poison and expecting someone else to die. It's a seed that you plant within yourself that only yields death. It only yields sorrow. There's no joy. There's no peace. Like, what are you doing it for?
Yeah.
Like, and if you're in that resentful place, it's time to sit down and do some self-reflection and to say, like, hey, you know, I'm still mad at this person. And sometimes it's valid. Some people have been molested, raped, beaten. Sometimes it's valid pain that you're experiencing. I'm not forgetting those people who their sons were murdered, their daughters were murdered, something happened that just was totally beyond their control.
I'm glad you said that. You balanced it a little bit for me now, because some people have a hard time forgiving people depending on how level of the trauma and how to internalize that.
Yeah.
You know, we don't all respond to pain the same way. You know, like maybe the things you said to somebody else, they got over that in a day or two. For me, it might take me 2-3 weeks. It might take me a year because it has a way that it impacted me to a degree that it probably didn't impact so and so, because there's a lot of historical background and everything that goes with that. And I think it's okay to be honest with ourselves. If we're dealing with unforgiveness, we need to actually say, I'm having a hard time forgiving so and so. And I think when we become real with ourselves and acknowledging that we have some issues as far as doing that, and I think as a community, as a world, the cops have to forgive, the colored folks have to forgive. You know, there has to be such a level of healing that has to take place among the race in order for us to move on. Because as long as we are harboring these histories, we can learn from them. We shouldn't erase them. We shouldn't take down these statues and, but we should learn from them and learn not to do them again. And also at the same time link to love and respect each other. I watched a really good video. Maybe next time we do a reaction, we can put that together. It was between a cop and a civilian. And this cop had gotten this man locked up and everything. And he did nothing wrong. He was alive. And they both actually came out, forgive each other, and now they're traveling together, changing the world.
And I think that's what's so powerful. It's learning how, and not keeping it in the dark either. Like talking about it, talking to people. But really it starts within us. We have to really do some combing, because a lot of times when you have anger and resentment towards something big, towards a system, towards a culture, towards a society, towards your community, towards anything, there's something internally that you haven't forgiven either of yourself or from someone in your life. Or there's something there. So you have to start
from within.
Yeah, like that is going to that causes you to have this perspective and this mindset. So in order to be freed from, to be able to free others, you have to first free yourself.
Yeah. And I also heard somebody said, out of forgiveness comes the fear of not knowing what might happen if I do this. So with the fear came, I can't trust. But also from fear, this is a good point that I learned it. Literally, I was doing a little study on that, where he says perfect love casts out fear, because fear has torment. It's like most people hate because they are afraid.
Exactly.
Hate is birthed from fear. And with fear, there is no trust.
Well, when you just go back to
love is the opposite of love is fear. It's not hate. It's really fear. And if you can address fear in its proper context, you can almost deal with everything else that comes after that. Yeah. So the way we treat each other, when you really look at the root cause of it all, is because we are afraid. We're afraid to love, afraid to trust, afraid to care for people. It comes from that.
Awesome.
Afraid to forgive. Yeah. And I think the next video is going to speak volume, because it's speaking about a little bit of anxiety issues, because we can see how that's connected as well. And I like the way Nova does a good job. And the speech we're going to hear is going to also solidify everything. So are you guys ready for this? It's time to get to the heart of the message. Nova Rockafeller did your best. All right, let's do it, guys.
At school he couldn't do the work, the kids all called him retarded. He got a job in a warehouse where he'd pack and cut carpet. And he never moved up, and he never fell in love. He's 50 but really 12, thinking about giving up. She married young and always felt like she had gotten too deep. Started feeling like her only way out was to cheat. Her friends all villainized her, didn't see she was weak. It's been 20 years and it still breaks her heart that they don't speak. He was a rock star in small bars. Until the gigs weren't paying bills, he had his daughter in the car. And he knew he had to make the choice to put down his guitar. And every day he wonders if he could have been a star. I know you did your best. There was a lot to lose, don't have to prove to me. I know you have nothing left, but there's more to you than the wars you lose, you'll see.
Wow, that's deep.
So there's
I
a
totally
he, there's a
identify.
she. I noticed that. So it includes two different people. And I think the relationship, when I was digging into this, I think is the grandfather and the grandmother. That's what this song is about, and what some of the sufferings that they went through to give her a better life, and she wants to let them know you did your best.
Oh, this is her family?
Yes. So I can tell. There's also, if you're looking at the picture here, it's almost like somebody passed away, kind of a, you know that setting, we're on the couch and they, people wearing black and stuff. It's kind of telling you there must have been a death in the family as well. So it's like a song to minister to the hearts of family members who have done their best and they don't have to explain anything, extra. So intentional.
Gregory Paul. These are life stories. Some of them feel like it's personal for Nova. Wow. So it just seems like she went through like what it is that we go through, insecurities, right? So it's like the insecurity that breeds fear, that breeds hopelessness, because she said that first guy felt like giving up, and he was 50 years old, but he's still 12, never fell in love. He was called retarded. I mean, like that. Oh, my heart hurts because they were calling him retarded at school because he couldn't make the grades. And then
how many of us went through that, I was sent back one grade on myself,
I think what I'm seeing here is like she's like running through the life story of, this is her family. It was her brother first, her mom, then dad. Wow. So then her mom was with this man and she married young, and for how many years, and she just felt like after 20 years they still don't talk, and she cheated.
Wow.
And she said that they villainized her, like her friends villainized her, but they didn't. So it's just like you don't understand the pain that they went through and what it felt like for them to have these experiences. And like so it's just like how people never seem to come to, people can be mean. Yeah. For lack of a better word, people can be mean, and people don't have understanding. People don't have sympathy, and how people want to judge.
It's crazy.
And I guess he was. So it sounds like her dad then was going to be a rock star. He just wonders, like, so he never pursued his life dreams.
So in other words, he sacrificed his dreams
for his daughter. Oh yeah, because it said like his daughter was in the car.
Yeah. Wow. And I think, as a father, to hear that coming from a son or a daughter is the most amazing thing. To know that you acknowledge that I did my best, I tried. Yes, I may have been negligent in the process. Yes, I may have dropped the ball several times, but I picked it back up and kept running.
She said something about losing wars. She said,
this is such a powerful song. So powerful.
There was a lot to lose. You don't have to prove to me. I know you have nothing left. But there's more to you than the wars you lose, you'll see. That's powerful.
I like that. That is so encouraging, though. So encouraging,
Wow.
All right, let's move on.
Then the wars you lose, you'll see. Diagnosed with Parkinsons, it's something she lives with. Was strong and independent, now relies on the children. Her voice shakes when she speaks, she's embarrassed, she hates to talk. And every day she wakes up wondering if new parts of her are lost. He got her pregnant before he could finish school. He got busy acting dumb cause he didn't know what to do. He ignored he had a girl till her mother stopped calling too. On his deathbed he wished for the daughter he never knew. She loved her family, 2 girls and 2 boys. Husband in the garage, she yells she's sick of the noise. And then one day he's out riding and he dies in a crash. Now she'd do anything to have the buzz of his soccer bat.
Just let it play.
Well, I wanted to pause after that stanza.
I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, because she finished her bar.
No, she just something said I don't know. I heard come back or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, you're reading ahead.
Yeah, that's the end of the bar.
I don't like reading ahead.
I'm reading along.
Or whatever. Yeah.
Wow, diagnosed with Parkinson's disease.
Mm-hmm.
What's another good point? Loving those family members when they are going through these, difficult sickness, especially elderlies and everything. She acknowledged that.
I think what it is that when you look at a disease like Parkinson's, it takes away your independence. Mm-hmm. Your mind is still there. Your mind can be very strong, but your body is not functioning. Mm-hmm. So you saw her fumbling the cup, fumbling the bowl, and she spills it, and then it's like people have to clean up after her. Mm-hmm. And there is a life cycle, right? That we're born and our mothers and our fathers take care of us, and then we eventually take care of our parents. But what she's showing is like there's a pain in her grandmother. So what she's showing is like everyone's hurting.
Yeah.
Basically all of these family members are hurting, and they all have a different story, but people just lump sum a family and say, oh, this family is a wreck, or this family is this and this family is that. But everyone as individuals is having their internal issues, because then you have grandpa who got her pregnant before he finished school and just booked out of the child's life. And then on his deathbed, it's like you start to reflect. You don't want to wait until your deathbed to reflect on those things that you should have made right. You don't want to sit back and look at your deathbed and say, like, so that's what he's saying. And then there was the next person. Yeah, wow. It's so deep.
And I see it here, like, their two are looking through the window, which implies they're probably both dead. This in essence is like they're looking down from above in a way, I guess. That's what she's picturing here.
I don't know.
Yeah, if you look at the background.
And then he dies in a crash. Now she do anything to have the buzz
That's
of
the
his
one.
soccer bat.
How many times do we say something and you can't take words back, right? And she's tired of the noise, or just those little complaints that she had towards her husband, and then you don't get to connect with them anymore. I mean, the pain there is unreal. Death, I was just talking to someone earlier today, death is just painful experience. It's something that, while you may learn to live with, death of a loved one who you're close to, someone who you care about, it never ever gets better. You never get over it. You just learn how to live through it and work through it, and to have a hope that you will see them again in heaven.
I think it's also good to tell our loved ones how much we love and appreciate them while they can hear, while they can make sense of it, while they can appreciate what we're saying, while they can understand. You know what I'm saying? So to wait until a person die, and bring flowers and everything, and it's kind of too late. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate the gesture, but they're not benefiting from that. So the best time to do this, to tell that mother or that grandmother or that husband or that wife that you appreciate them for what they do, is now.
I think it's so important. What I love about what she's doing here is she's teaching us to take our eyes off of ourselves. Because a lot of times when you have family who are going through different things, you look at them and you point fingers at them, or you have maybe a negative feeling towards them for what they might be experiencing. Not so much the woman with the Parkinsons, but you might have hatred and resentment towards the father who never linked with his daughter, or you might have hatred and resentment towards, that person in the situation. But she's just taking your eyes off of self and just take a deeper look into what's happening in the people around you. Take a deeper look into what they might be experiencing. As a nurse, all the time I hear my patients saying, I'm so sorry you have to do this. I'm so sorry you have to take care of me. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that you are constantly I wish I could do this. I know I used to be able to do this for myself. This is so embarrassing. And I'm constantly telling them it's okay. And for those who are in the field, or those who are in these different fields, be kind, be patient with your patients, be patient with people in general. People always say you don't know what that other person is experiencing, so just be kind. And it literally is a true statement. You could be the joy in that person's life, or you could add on to the pain that they might be experiencing.
That's so true.
And she's just really bringing light. Wow.
Yeah. Very encouraging.
and the things that we would take back if we could.
Mercy.
That we know we weren't so compassionate or caring about.
Mercy.
Now she'd do anything to have the buzz of his soccer bat. I know you did your best. There was a lot to lose, don't have to prove to me. I know you have nothing left.
I want to pause here to acknowledge Tom's McDonald's presence in a time, in essence, like whatever she's going through or the death, the best thing you can do is to be present for that loved one. Because this is a very difficult thing, what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Whenever there's death in a family that's suffering, sometimes the best thing you can do is just be there,
Mm-hmm.
give them a shoulder to cry on, just physically. And I'm just glad the fact he's there, he's present, he's acting his role, but he's really not saying anything, but he's doing so much right here. He's being supportive. And I think sometimes families, that's what we really need, especially in tough times,
And she's also being so encouraging to those people who are experiencing these issues, because outside of what she's sharing and being vulnerable with her family, she said, I know you have nothing left. You have a lot to lose. So what did she say? She said,
I know you have nothing. I know you did your best. Yeah.
I know you
There's
have
more
nothing
to-
left, but there's more to you than the wars you lose. You'll see. I know you did your best. Like, don't be so hard on yourself. She's telling them, like, don't overthink it. Like to her brother who just wasn't the straight A student, or her dad who never pursued that dream. Like, I know you have nothing left. A lot of people are there. A lot of people are just going through the motions of life, and they have nothing left, or they feel hopeless. And I think she's really speaking to those people, and she's really connecting
Very powerful.
from every angle, from being an older person to a younger person to a person who experienced loss. And this is just real life issues.
Yeah.
If we look in our own families, we can find all of these people, and we just have to say, are we being kind to them? Are we helping to support people?
We
Support
have to.
our loved ones.
We have to encourage people a lot more than we do today. I don't want to. Leanie M. My grandpa had a saying: "Don't bring me flowers when I'm dead, because I can't smell them."
I was gonna actually say that, but you were talking, so I don't want to overtalk you. But yeah, I was gonna say that's the saying. They said, "Don't bring me flowers when I'm dead. I
Yeah.
can't smell them."
Yeah. So
the
if you're gonna
point.
show love, show it now. All right.
But there's more to you than the wars you lose. You'll see. Everybody made mistakes. Everybody crashed along the way. It might be going up in flames, but everybody feel the same. Everybody made mistakes. Everybody crashed along the way. It might be going up in flames, but everybody feel the same. I know you did your best. There was a lot to lose, don't have to prove to me. I know you have nothing left, but there's more to you than the wars you lose. You'll see.
It's like she's saying, keep holding on. Don't give up. There's more to you than the wars you lose. You'll see. That's so powerful. This is a tearjerker for me.
Yes,
That's
it is.
powerful.
Powerful song.
It really connects with me because I've made so many mistakes. I've made decisions that have impacted my life long term. I've made decisions that impacted my life short term. And to hear that, it's such a hope and a courage. And it's so real. And I think that's what's really important. Like, we've all made decisions that we aren't proud of. Some have long-term effects, some have short-term effects. And some of them, they just seem so hopeless. Like, you know what? I put myself in this situation and I'm not getting out. So I just have to put up and deal with it. But no, like, she's pushing us to have a different mindset. Like, you're more than the wars that you lose. I've always heard it that you might lose a battle, but you haven't lost the war. So it's a little different, but no matter what she's saying is these are little wars that we go through. We do go through wars, spiritual wars. We go through internal wars in our lives, and we make decisions that have a negative impact on us, and we don't figure it out until later. And then what are we going to do with that?
Yeah.
Hold on. Just keep pushing. Don't give up.
That's right. I love the spirit of encouragement that's in the song.
Yeah.
It's just like, I've heard a really good analogy. You know, somebody went to a devil's tool shop, and when they walked through the door, they had on the shelf the tool of envy, the tool of disgust, the tool of jealousy. All of that was there, and you could shop for it. But you see, as the person kept on walking through the store, there was a tool that he saw. It was all beat up, sat down in a corner, not on a shelf. And he looked at that tool. He says, "Can I buy this one?" And the devil came and said, "Oh, this one is not for sale." He said, "What do you mean it's not for sale?" He said, No, this is my favorite tool. It's the tool of discouragement. I don't sell that one." And the idea is, one thing the enemy does very well, and we also play along with him, he discourages people. And you can see at the root of every suicidal person is the spirit of discouragement. You have to first give up. Yeah, hopelessness. You have to give up on yourself, and then everything else falls apart. So what she's doing here, she is like, no, you are more than the wars that you've lost. I know you did your best. You don't have to explain everything to me. I know the sufferings that you go through. She's understanding pain, and she's understanding like human effort, and she's acknowledging them and encouraging them for that. And I think we should do a much better job. I should do a much better job encouraging, loving, not just saying, "I appreciate you. Thank you." That's good enough. But every now and then to have that face-to-face discussion with my wife, with my mother, with my children, and to tell them what I love and appreciate about them is such a thing that is needed today. I was doing a recent survey, and it says in a survey, one of the things that most teenagers having an issue with is the spirit of discouragement. And that's part of the reason why suicide rates is so high. And if more parents and more people would encourage them, they would be far exceeding so much more. And I'm like, that's crazy. It's kind of true, Nova's doing it, man.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, in society, you're up against so much, and there's so many people who set the bars. But who's the one who really sets the bar at the end of the day? We're looking at, okay, this is success. Why couldn't that young man who wasn't academically, didn't excel academically, why is it a problem that he works at a warehouse? Why is he being called retarded?
It's crazy.
Why is he seen as someone who's not as important to society in the gifts that he has and what he has to share? Why did this man wasn't he able to pursue his dream, him not pursuing his dreams? And then in doing that, then he has the internal battle of not raising the bar in his own life. It's just like so much to consider. So much that young people are up against. So much that young people, old people, everyone, that they fight against to try to make sure that they fit in and they fit the script and they are with the mold, and that they are like what they say value is. What is value? What makes something valuable? So it's all these things and these achievements and these accomplishments, when that's just not true. And that's what people have to understand. And then understanding the life cycle. Like, you're going to go through stuff.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as not going through situations and circumstances in this life that won't challenge your thought process. But what are they giving you to help you come out of it? Understanding that you are valuable, understanding that this is a moment, understanding that this is a battle or a war, that there's going to be more wars, there's going to be more battles, but you'll come through them, and it's supposed to build resilience and put your shoulders up to say, I was able to make it through this.
That's right.
Not supposed to take you down and make you feel like you're a failure.
Yeah.
A lot of people suffer from feeling like a failure in different areas of their lives. So that wife that felt like, hey, 20 years later, I still don't talk to my husband. We still don't see eye to eye. We still have no love. There's still no this. I feel like I need to cheat. She's being villainized. Yeah, the best thing to do is to leave the situation, right? Absolutely. The best thing to do is to have a sit down and to try to come to some agreement. But trying to get into the thought process there, trying to get into the thought process of how she might be feeling now that that person, whoever it was that got in the car accident, or how the woman with Parkinsons, that hopelessness that she's feeling, like, I'd be better off dead because everyone doesn't have to take care of me. I've heard that from multiple patients before.
Yeah.
And it breaks my heart because then there's other staff members who go in there and they do make them seem like they're frustrating and annoying. They do make them feel like it's a bother to care for them. And I'm like, you get your paycheck from these people. Stop it. Go in there with some love. Go in there with some compassion. Or just the same way you can pack your bags and leave, you can leave the field, whatever field it is you're working in. If you don't have a heart of compassion for people, and there's so many fields that you're there to serve people. If you don't have have the heart or compassion for it, leave it.
That's so true.
Yes, Mr. E, I need a pick-me-up. React to no response.
Yeah.
All right.
I think we did this before. No, I think I did it. I don't think you did.
I didn't.
Yeah, I don't think you did.
Angels.
Usually. Thank you guys for your comments down there. Okay, Megan. The devil exploit the cracks. That his animosity creates if we don't fill them with forgiveness and compassion.
James Maxwell. I got the answer one time to that question. God said, "Why not you?" Yes, there's a song called "Why Not You." I gave you that because you can handle it. If not, it would have went to someone who could.
Oh, wow. Someone who could not.
Someone who could not.
Wow. Okay, guys, we want to react to one more, and then one last thing here. We're talking about